My soul was denied rest. I have been serving my sentence as the Grim Reaper for about 120 years. I do not remember the exact date I was condemned, but I do know that I started reaping around 1888. I cannot remember much from my mortal life, but there are some moments when I experience glimpses of the actions that the human version of me did. From time to time, the maggot-infested holes where my human ears used to be are deafened by the shrieks and sobbing of the women who have met their bloody demise by my human hands. Accompanying the screams are the sounds of blades piercing flesh repeatedly. It sounds like the mixing of slimy beans in a giant pot. The worst part is hearing the crunching and snapping sounds of what I assume are corporal bones. I can hear the bodies of my victims being toyed with in ways that even God himself would grimace too. I do not remember who I was before my sentencing, but it would not take a genius to realize that I was a monster whose soul was devoid of goodness. I assume that not knowing the specifics of my universal crimes is part of my punishment. My job as a Grim Reaper is to ferry the souls of the deceased to the afterlife. I do not deliver souls to heaven or hell, or any other religious resting ground of human souls. I simply guide the souls across the cosmos to an entrance that is perceived by what the soul believed in when it inhabited a human body. I have delivered souls to gold stairways that sit on top of fluffy, white clouds that lead upward. I have delivered souls to giant, grand archways made from the finest stone. I occasionally get special orders to deliver souls of the recently deceased to unborn fetuses inside pregnant humans, to put it simply, soul recycling. Most commonly, I deliver souls to a giant void of nothingness where the souls are swallowed up by darkness like a whale. I am not allowed to see what happens to souls after they enter the afterlife. I have watched the world evolve into something that would be considered witchcraft when I was immortal. When I go to collect souls, I can see giant flying machines in the skies and horseless carriages made of metal moving by themselves. Not to mention the skyscrapers that are so tall that I imagine the higher spirits tripping over the tips. All this new technology, it has made my job a lot more demanding, as there are more than 8 billion people on the planet. Humans are still as ferocious as they were when I was mortal. Global conflicts have kept me busy over the century because of the creative ways that humans have come up with to unalive one another. I sometimes wonder if my mortal self would have envied the creative ways to unalive. My skin has slowly decomposed over the decades. I am infested with otherworldly parasites that feast on my skin to the point where I look like a walking human skeleton. Being a Grim Reaper, I am required to wear a black, hooded cloak that hides my face because human souls simply cannot comprehend what lies beneath my hood. Once in the mid-1940s, I was guiding a rather rebellious soul to their afterlife entrance. The soul refused to accept their demise and tried to wrestle me down and steal my scythe. I remained as still as a statue, my skeletal fingers firm on my scythe as the rebellious soul climbed me like a baby monkey climbs their mother. It was a pathetic attempt to cause me any harm or discomfort, as I am a hollow embodiment of the inevitable. The rebellious soul made it up to my hooded head and forcefully yanked my hood down. The rebellious soul's bright eyes were mere inches away, looking into dark holes where my human eyes used to be. It was as though the soul had sunk into me. After staring into my head for what seemed like an eternity, the rebellious soul started levitating upward. The soul started to expand like a circus balloon being pumped with air. The soul was screaming in agony while it was expanding into an almost perfect sphere, and in an instant, the soul popped. Yellow soul residue was projected in every direction among the cosmos and immediately filled my nose holes with a fruity smell that reminded me of a drippy peach. Reapers aren't allowed to laugh, as it could cause space to rupture, but I managed to blow a light breath of dusty air from my lipless mouth in an attempt to have some humanity again. I am not allowed to sleep or rest until my sentence is complete. I am cursed with nothing but my thoughts. I know that there were other Reapers before me, but I cannot help but wonder why I was commended to this fate. Surely there was someone in my life that was more sinister than I was. Why couldn't my soul be brought to my entrance? I have guided souls who are responsible for millions of deaths. Why are they not taking my place as the Grim Reaper? There is nothing that I want more than to simply rest. I do not even know if this godforsaken body of mine has a soul of its own. Whether it be heaven, hell, or the void, I would love nothing more than to have my soul granted its eternal rest. Before you take a human life, before you steal from the poor, before you become a cheater, before you become a monster, heed my warning. Being judged before the Creator himself is nothing compared to serving as the embodiment of death. Tread carefully when you are mortal, as you may end up being chosen by me to take my place as the Grim Reaper. Humans think that sleep paralysis is natural. I find it amusing that humans are constantly in denial of the paranormal. Sometimes I stand on sleeping humans' chests just to breathe in the sweet aroma of the soul, to feel some sort of pleasure again. I am stuck being nowhere, and everywhere, all at once. I am everything, yet I am nothing. I am your ticket to paradise, yet I am your worst nightmare. Do not duck with me, as you will be met with a fate that your human mind simply cannot comprehend. Where there is a corpse, there is me, lurking in the shadows, ready to sever the soul from its inhabited body. If you a figure escape from the corner of your eye, do not worry, as that is me getting ready to collect your soul from your corpse. Although I do not know when my Reaper sentence will be complete, know this: you and I will meet someday.